match, though. We'll see how close. DarkZero did have a good last match on Monday. They did show that they'd managed to work out some of their kinks, so I just don't know if they've worked them out consistently enough yet. Monty Band coming out here first from EG. No wanting to deal with that, which is funny because Monty is actually something that EG had abused early on after Pentada G2 had abused it on top floor for the white control. And then EG kind of picked it up for a little bit, and then it kind of dropped off.
Now, you say abused it. When you say abused, do you mean played it?
Yeah, no, I mean it worked. That's what I mean by abused.
Okay.
Speaking of abusing, Lion going to get the axe next. So
and he's gone.
2 operators that a lot of people not a big fan of.
Looks like we'll have a rehost here.
Well, at least we're going to know 2 of the operators, so it gives us something to talk about, at least. Might have been, well, I was going to say the cursor bug, but as you realized the other day, that was fixed position. Glass is
on a casual level, sure. But like Blackbeard even still gets played at a professional level from time to time.
Not like consistently.
Not consistently, but it's the same thing as Lion in that case. Like it's one of those operators, it slides underneath the rug. It's still annoying, but it's one that is still powerful and potent if used correctly. Anyway.
Well, it looks like the Mira and the Valkyrie were the correct bands.
So we will actually
write those down again, yeah. And we are going to start, of course, in bar, top floor first. We're going to have BC, the one to play that gridlock, what Eclipse was doing last time, but we're going to have Geo on the Vigil, surprisingly, instead of Canadian.
One thing that has been, I think, true for Evil Geniuses specifically as of late is that they've, I'm sure if you've been following them, you might have noticed that they've been changing up their roles a lot.
That was something that they struggled with last season, I think it was, that was kind of hurting them a little bit.
I don't know if it was last
comfortable
season
with it.
or further back.
It might have been further back.
But yeah, Evil Geniuses. Okay, so one thing, I think, how do I put this? Something you'll recognize in most of the top tier teams is that they are usually able to move their operators around. Like
you need that.
Yeah, you don't only play Echo, you don't only play Jaeger, you don't only play...
And that's part of the reason you want really veteran players, right? Because you know how to play lots of different operators.
Versatile players are the most valuable, that's for sure. Being able to play your defaults, being able to play your standard stuff in competitive Siege, knowing all of that, and then also being able to play whatever role your team needs.
Yeah.
And that's, again, that's one of the things that, one of the traits that almost all of the top tier teams, the ones that win LANs, it's one of the traits that almost all of them share, is that most of their players, if not all of their players, are very capable of moving roles. I'm not sure what happened here to BC.
He might have fallen off the roof.
He wasn't on rappel. How could he fall off the roof, though? It's Cafe.
It's true. I don't think there is a spot. I think you'd have to try and be doing some tricky kind of vault action there. But it does look like he gets picked back up. However, it's not the old 50 HP. Now he's definitely in a tough spot. He's going to have... At least he is a 3 armor. Maybe it was Geo. I don't know. He's on the roam.
Well, he's going to go for the run out right now, and he will take down Mint there, so that's the Thatcher gone. BC on low HP as well, and Evil Geniuses are already having a really good start to this round. And entry here from Nyx is going to be shut down by NVK, and it's going to get better for DarkZero, however slightly, as Necrox gets a little too aggressive.
But he wasn't necessarily going to need to be doing any kind of K-tricking or anything like that, as the Thatcher is now removed. So assuming he got those Electro Claws up first, that's not too bad. Thatcher's still going to be doing some work here. Or Thermite, I mean.
The Electro Claws are up there in the freezer wall, which is very important.
I suppose the Twitch drone could still get those.
They could still, yeah. You got one downstairs here, as you can see from Hyper. He's been doing a good job there on Twitch. Every time we've seen him on this operator, he does manage to do his duty as the Twitch, but it's definitely not been that influential most recently. This is potentially 2 free kills for Hyper, but he's going to give his position away. The call-out will be made by MVK, and he goes for the peek. Doesn't win the fight just yet. He's going to continue to peek and actually lose it to Hyper, who secures the kill with the pistol. Good job there to Hyper, and DarkZero are back in this round.
Way over-peaked. That NVK absolutely, especially with the low health as he was on that last peak, definitely shouldn't have been making that, but I think he was just hoping to outfox Hyper there, but Hyper's got the fast-firing gun, so...
Aggressive play here from Geo, but his position given away, and those tracks are going to make him fall back to white stairs. Probably the right call in that scenario, especially with only 30 seconds left. He's also looking to deny that rappel on the east side, and he will at least distract if nothing else. Only 25 seconds left, though, for the attack here, and Evil Genius is feeling very comfortable with those gas canisters out. Canadian inside a freezer, and he'll take down Hot, and that's the diffuser on the floor, but not planted. It's a great position for Evil Geniuses to find themselves. NBC and Hyper both on low HP, and it looks like they don't really have any kind of chance in this round. One known to be on the white stairs, that'll be Hyper in all likelihood, and yeah, Geo will finish him off. Leaving just BC, they know where he is, and they'll finish him off. Evil Geniuses take round number 1, top floor, Cafe.
So I gotta wonder if we're gonna see a repeat of what we saw last matchup, which is just very heavy defensive sidedness. In this case, I mean, especially with Echo on the board as well, you see the power of that. I mean, Canadian obviously getting 1 kill with his gun, but the ability to deny and delay on that push, we already see a struggle for time last match, how often they can get delayed trying to push the bar because of the difficulty in getting people out of positions. They even managed to get a few kills early on to be able to do that, but just not being able to control Geo, I think, contributed a lot to it as well. He was able to do so many runouts, distractions, attempted kills, just do so much work, as well as even a kill onto Mint. And speaking of Blackbeard and Mint, something we were just talking about there, see if he sticks that.
He's a really good Blackbeard.
Yeah.
He's an OG Blackbeard, but he's actually going to go on the buck. That's fine. So I actually understand the Blackbeard on this site. There's a lot of long angle play. Yeah. Have y'all noticed from match number 1?
Yeah.
All that long angle play on the top floor? Well, Blackbeard is exceptionally proficient at challenging those long angles and winning them.
Yeah.
So he could be potentially a very useful operator, I would say, the next time DarkZero attacks the top floor directly. So maybe that's something that Mint will actually bring out, but who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
Definitely a strong possibility, though. It's something that can be very effective. Obviously, now that they're attacking top down, Buck is probably a better choice.
Yeah, the Buck is highly relevant on this side. I was about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. He's exactly right.
Oh, you can have him back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I will catch this in right now. So yes, the Buck is very, very good at opening up, of course, from above down to below, and probably the right choice to change onto him for this round.
Looks like we'll see potentially something similar from the Maestro that Slash was doing. As you mentioned, that deployable shield, very common. He hasn't set it up just yet, but playing over on that side, I gotta imagine probably see something similar.
So I think you remember the change to the deployable shield that they were doing with the
that looks scary. That's on the TTS right now.
Yeah, and it's 2 ways now, so that's good.
Now I can say shields work 2 ways. Both ways?
I guess?
In a way.
I don't think so.
I'm glad it's 2 ways, though.
Definitely an advantage to the person sitting behind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because those windows are very small.
You can't ban it the way you could ban Mira.
Things are going to be different when that comes into play. Because you can't... Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly what you just said. You can't ban it away. It just stays there. Anyway, it's a top floor take here for DarkZero because you have to take top floor because that's how this map works usually on these 2 top floors.
Well, they're already doing a bit better this time, as BC has not been incapacitated first, and they haven't lost Mint early. So, I mean, this is already a better take from them of that top floor. You see Nixon as well already getting good control. And surprisingly, they're not really being pushed back too much by the defenders, who are actually more on the white side here.
Yeah, I mean... I think EG is just trying to hold on as long as they can. They'll fall back on the drop down eventually, I would imagine. They don't need to rush this.
No, you have to clear them pretty much to get the plant down.
DZ has to clear them, but EG just needs to wait. So right now, DarkZero just looking for angles, trying to take fights, and there's one for Mint. Beautifully placed nade onto NVK. A little bit of irony, of course, as the Jaeger gets eliminated. Nyx will finally take down Young. Lots of patience there from Nyx to get that kill. It's an attempted rotate there from Necrox, and he'll actually make it back to Laundry. So Evil Geniuses, 2 members of their team for 2 minutes. Was it worth it? Well, maybe. DarkZero are going to have to use this last minute very proficiently in order to take this round.
It's unfortunate it's not BC on those nades there.
I mean, Mint made him work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that being said, like you said, they've only got a minute left. The 2 minutes being burned was good, but it was just the aggression and the peaks that ultimately cost them. I mean, Young didn't need to be peeking that. NVK didn't need to be peeking the white stairs. That was a bit unnecessary. Even just a pre-fire would have been fine to delay things out. And now that top floor control with Mint still alive, not to mention the breaching charges you see coming out there as well. Although Mint maybe not doing as much bucking. He's looking to get a skeleton key on the stairs instead. Glad those railings are covered up now as well.
Hyper applying some pressure, but he's going to get some in return. Necrox takes him down with a nice headshot there through the bars. Evil Geniuses now getting closer to bringing this to even. But look at the time. Mint trying to do his best with the stop destruction, but it's not working out. Hot and cold going for a plant, and it'll be shut down nice and easy by EG. It's just BC and Nyx, and there goes Nyx. So BC up against a wall here, and he'll get one, but he can't get any more. And it'll be a nice defense from Evil Geniuses, despite the early man disadvantage, thanks to those picks from DarkZero upstairs. I mean, EG, just wait.
Yeah. At least that worked out for them in terms of time, because that's really what cost DarkZero at the end of that round, is just having to play against the rough time. And that seems to be part of what's making this map so defender-sided, right? Is just the difficulty in terms of clearing that top floor.
I mean, okay, here's the thing about top 4. Here's the really, I think anyone can really point to, they see it if you're watching. There's a giant no man's land in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, trying to cross that, wow, that's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, you can even get C4'd from below or someone throwing it over. Like,
okay, it's a no man's land in the middle, and C4 from below also applies pressure to the staging ground to attack that no man's land. If you're in Cigar, you could get just a random, underneath your gun, well, I would have to come from piano floor, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of potential for the defenders to, you know, slow down, if not disrupt your attack on that top floor, thanks to that giant open space in the middle.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, they've definitely made some inroads in terms of making it a little more interesting with the balconies, being a way you can kind of fight some angles across that, but you still got to cross it.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, as we always say, that goes both ways. We saw the same thing from Slash in the last match. He was challenging from what they call heaven, and what I'm probably going to start calling heaven now.
Yeah, it's nice to hear their call out.
Yeah, cocktail balcony just doesn't roll off the tongue as well as heaven.
Yeah.
He was playing by heaven, and he had a really good angle there to just challenge fight and take fights, and well, he won his fights. That's you know, confidence on the part of Slash, yeah, partially, but it's also just, hey, you know, I can win this, I can take this angle, and it worked out for him. So here we go. The Blackbeard is coming out.
Good to see. I mean, we'll see if it actually ends up being useful.
Is it good to see, Devin?
No.
No, it's not.
I mean, honestly, so okay, I like playing Blackbeard, but also because I'm terrible at hitting people without them hitting me first.
Sacrilege.
So, what can I say?
Betrayal.
It's actually probably my highest KD operator because it was only when I was playing him before he got nerfed.
I wonder why.
Yeah, no, I don't wonder why. That's how I knew he was kind of broken at that status.
Well, Evil Geniuses not holding on to Bakery, unlike some teams we've seen so far do on Cafe.
Yeah.
They're actually just going to be trying to bandit trick the Bakery wall, which is quite interesting. But, I mean, it could work out. You are going to see this, I guess this prep room maybe, going to be, the prep room wall going to be opened up, and that's going to give some control to DarkZero, but not actually that much.
No. I mean, they got into Bakery quick, which was good, but the thermiting that particular wall doesn't do... Yeah, I know. There's the callouts are a little trickier with the, the kitchen. You've got service prep, the main kitchen area, the freezer. There's quite a bit of components to the kitchen. You hear the tracks going out as well as BC doing his job with those. Definitely something that we don't, like I said, don't always see directly impact the match, but absolutely do. Similar to the way Mozzie does, both of those operators kind of do a good job of like denying something somewhat passively.
Well, I think that Mint, if given the right position, is going to be a huge factor here, but DarkZero is still trying to get past the bandit tricking that's going on inside of the kitchen. That's a good job to Canadian holding up this attack somewhat. Only one exothermic charge here on DarkZero and no Habana Excaros. That makes that attack very difficult. They're also struggling to take on to the main lobby. MVK is on a roam over there, and he is doing a great job of slowing this down. He's taking some huge risks and not being punished for them. And that is actually a little bit surprising from DZ that they don't have anyone actively following up these drones. Now, NVK going to get some, I suppose, some free delay here. Very long angle there from Necrox. Barely gets away with it with his life. That is a very interesting one, and one you can probably expect to see in ranked moving forward. Hot and cold, the first kill of the round onto NVK over by the main lobby, and okay, DarkZero
punished him.
Finally shut down those roamers in the main lobby.
Well, we got the Blackbeard actually inside Baker here, still trying to make the push and throwing out flashbangs, but they aren't actually making a lot of push out of it just yet. It's really just utility being wasted with 24 seconds left.
Yeah, and you could see Evil Geniuses, they're just going to wait. Yeah. I mean, why would they? They don't need to rush this. We'll get a free kill on the mid as he attempts to push into the site. Nice hold here from Canadian. It's a really easy one, too, on this bomb chassis. Geo gets a C4 kill, and there's another for him, and it's just EG locking things out. DarkZero, I mean, walking through barbed wire that whole round is what it looked like.
Yeah, they certainly slowed them down in more ways than one. That was definitely one of them as well.
I didn't mean literally, I mean figuratively. It figuratively looked like DarkZero was walking through barbed wire that whole round.
Just crouch walking everywhere, trying to get to any position they could to get an advantage. And again, I think it harkens back to that last match we saw where it's just... It's not completely turtle play because you have roamers, you have people peeking things like that. So it's not total passive play, but it's hunkering down on angles, positions that are difficult to get people out of. Capitao is not banned this time, just not something that's being utilized, but it's just, I feel like that's making a huge difference in terms of the ability to get people out of their positions within a reasonable amount of time. And then DarkZero making these last minute pushes because I don't see any real utility coming out from them outside of grenades that's doing much to get people out of these positions. Yeah, they're able to get a pick on a roamer like NBK occasionally or catch someone off site. But unless someone from EG peaks, they're not getting those kills. They're definitely sitting in a situation where it's like, come into where we are. However, the big difference, though, going back to last round, is EG won their kitchen. Something that Rogue were unable to do, as well as we were unable to see from TSM. So that's the first kitchen defense that's been won tonight.
True. Is that telling of dominance on this map?
I would use that as an indicator.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. I mean, that last match, we've seen one cafe before this, to build on what you were saying there, Devin. The last match, Kitchen was unsuccessful once for Rogue, but successful the last time they decided to bring it, and unsuccessful the only time TSM went there. And that match ended up being a 7-3 with 3 defenses at Kitchen total, only 1 being successful. So
and last time EG played it, it was also 7-3 in EG's favor when they played it on day 2. And the operator bans were almost exactly the same, with the exception of Lion was replaced by Jackal. So one animal for another.
That is true.
So, you know, again, EG know how to play this, and they've already shown they can do it. And it's really up to DZ to counter-strat that, but nice C4 throw from Necrox, unfortunately not going to work out. I really like having this second hatch, because it's still playable against by the defenders from various angles and C4s, so it's not overly powerful. It just gives additional flexibility, and rarely do you see 2 hatches so close to each other in maps.
It is quite interesting, yeah, and it also, gives you flexibility, and that's good to see for both teams. I like how you can hold it from below. I think that's really the star of the show.
It's balanced.
Yeah, it is well balanced as far as hatches go when you're going to put 2 right next to each other.
Right.
Evil Geniuses doing a great job right now, again, of slowing up the attack from DarkZero as they haven't really done anything.
You see them just sitting there at this point, too. Hyper just watching a window from outside?
They've got control of Piano, and they're starting to thermite something. Necrox is going to punish that, though, with an aggressive push into Cigar.
To be fair, Hyper had very little health left. Or not Hyper, but Nyx.
True, true. He was 1 shot for that DMR shotgun. I'm surprised that there wasn't a punish there onto Necrox, because, I mean, we did have support from Mint, for example, who's playing by Piano.
They're not trading well.
DarkZero not trading well. Their positioning is a little bit off. Possibly communication errors going on here. Maybe this just isn't their map. But this is probably one of the... I
think Canadian's going to make a big play here.
This attack doesn't have a whole lot of bite right now is the big story. And yeah, I agree with you. Canadian probably has gone undetected thus far, and he could potentially do a lot of damage from this position. He does land his shots. We know that about him.
Yeah, and the ACOG certainly helps with that from that long angle.
Yeah. Good drone work coming out here, but Mint actually will spot Canadian. So position given away, and that spot is thus not very powerful.
Nope. 40 seconds left, though, and still 4v4. Which is not great for the way that DZ have been playing towards these executes, though.
I think the way that DZ are playing, and the thing that really stands out to me, is the fact that it doesn't seem like they're in a rush to actually take the site. It seems to me like they're thinking to themselves, hey, it's top floor, we've got half of it done.
They sure are during the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, the last 20 seconds now, and Necrox is going to finish off hot as he attempts to take control of Freezer. Evil Geniuses just set up in an array, all the barrels pointing the right directions, and they are going to be able to shut this push down somewhat, but DZ actually going to put 2 on the board, potentially more. Necrox is actually the last one in Freezer, and he gets shut down by BC! Oh no, Evil Geniuses! What a last-second take from DarkZero, all thanks to BC's drop from the Skylight. I think he got 1 from the Skylight, and then 2 after he dropped. How is he not punished? I mean, I want to say a beautiful take from DarkZero, but really just a huge hiccup and a half there from Evil Geniuses.
Just a big balls play from BC at the end there.
It was a big balls play.
It was. He just did it. You know, he's like, you know what, I got this. It didn't help that Gio also got taken down on the white stairs because he could have been a big thorn as well in that. In terms of being able to come up, while if BC's the last man left standing, he's got to go for the plant himself.
I'm really amazed that Hyper won that fight. Can I also say, like, that was a really tough angle for Hyper to win on, and he managed to do it.
I think Hyper's fit into the team fairly well in terms of doing his job. But
I think in terms of doing his job, maybe in terms of doing his job, yeah. As a player, as a role, in terms of roles, like I think it's going to take time yet.
Absolutely.
Before Hyper is perfectly comfortable on that roster. At least
last matchup on Monday, they seemed to be a lot more comfortable.
Certainly. I mean, that was what, a 7-2?
Yeah.
In their favor? Yeah, 7-2 over Rogue, no less.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was on Bank, a map they both know really well, so it wasn't necessarily like one-sided in the sense of a map being like, oh, this is their map or whatever.
If you don't know who we're talking about DarkZero right now.
Yeah.
And we're discussing Hyper being brought onto this roster. He just got on for this season, so it's a little bit new. But yeah, young talent, lots.
Sorry to interrupt, but that team kill, mucho importante.
What?
I don't know, I'm just making up words.
Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It was, I believe, it was a Bailiff headshot.
Troy took down Amar, and now, I guess now Evil Geniuses are just down one man.
I mean, if you go off for Amar's performance, Necrox's performance on Monday, that's a huge nerf to the team. But
yeah, he is. I think Necrox has always been one of those shadow amazing players where like people don't see it until they really look at how he plays.
Half the time he's playing like Anchor Smoke, so you don't get to see that, you know?
He's the one, he's the one that EG pivots on a lot. I mean, did you see him in that last round? They lost it, but yeah, Necrox is doing his best to hold down Freezer, which is a huge pivot point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, one man down. DarkZero got to be patting themselves on the back for that early kill. Great job for them getting the opening frag.
Well, we'll see if that's a big factor this round, because DZ's still being pretty slow, and this is the primary, or not the primary, the secondary bomb site, though. At least it's not Kitchen. That would have been a much
that would be worse, yeah. I mean, the top floor Cocktail is definitely a
no, I'm sorry, that's right, they are back on bar, not reading.
Yeah, because they didn't...
Yeah, they didn't win, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the best site for most teams. However, it didn't work out great for EG last round, and now they've lost one of the more important players, I would say, on this particular site, so...
What's going to be interesting, though, is the Nomad and Gridlock duo this time, something they didn't have last time. BC already good with that.
BC has been landing his shots with this F90.
He's trying to give Eclipse some competition.
It certainly is, and he is doing a great job of this. I love the way that DarkZero are taking control of Piano. They're just putting Mint on the Piano itself at the beginning of the round, and then using him as kind of a turret to deny any retake from Evil Geniuses. And that's giving a lot of ground to DarkZero. It's not terribly efficient considering how slow the rest of DZ are to, capitalizing on this control.
Well, they might take this Freezer here in just a second, and that's, I think, going to be, important, because they still have a minute left to execute on that.
But it's a really good way for DarkZero to take Piano itself. Evil Geniuses, they are going to be trying their best after losing the Freezer wall. It's going to be very difficult, and Geo, close to death here.
They're anticipating it. He played this White Stairs so much last round. You got to know he's there, and Hyper spent so much time watching windows to try and fight him.
Doesn't the airdrop not detonate unless they're on the floor? I could have sworn, but hey, maybe I'm the wrong one. Anyway, placed next to the White Stairs window. Impact on Red Stairs, they're going to get some of those cracks. MVK looking on a long angle, but he'll be punished. Hot and Cold follows the Tracers and finds the pot of gold at the end. Geo will get the detonate, but yeah, okay, so it is on the when you have to be on the floor. He also won't be able to get the kill because of the air jab, and the plant's coming down from Hot. Long angle here from Young, and he's not going to be able to land the shot. Gas Canister's not denying the plant, and from an off angle, Mint will take down Young, as well as Geo and DarkZero take yet another attack onto Cocktail.
Well, surprisingly, while EG won the harder bomb site, Kitchen, they're somehow losing the best bomb site twice in a row now. Some of that due to, I think that was a bit of a misplay by Geo, going for that jump out, because he wasn't going to be there then to support Young. Afterwards, you saw how quickly he had to try and rotate back, and it was going to be a little more predictable. I mean, had he landed the kill, great and all, but I don't think that was going to give you enough man advantage to be able to help support Young, and that puts a lot of pressure on Young to try and hold off that. I mean, yes, he's smoke and can help with that, but I don't know. I don't think that was the play. Obviously, the air jab didn't help with that.
Yeah. Also, I was right. It detonates when you hit the floor.
Yeah, not midair.
So why put it so high up? I was really weirded out when I saw it. I was like, I wonder if the radius is going to be able to actually catch anyone.
Yeah.
But it did, and it allowed DarkZero to secure that round. But it wasn't the only factor there. Overall, the take from DarkZero was really methodical. I think they're expecting Evil Geniuses to be more aggressive than EG are, and that's why DZ are being so slow on their takes. So far, I would say that DZ's attack half for Cafe is the best we've had today. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, EG's defense half in some ways was also the best in terms of them successfully defending Bakery.
yeah, that's true to an extent.
Surprisingly, they're going to skip reading and go back to that.
I mean, they were really successful in Kitchen.
Yeah, but they were also successful in reading. So it's, I mean, obviously.
Well, they were also successful in top 4.
Yeah, you can't count on anything.
Yeah, no, history is not, I think, something we should use as a, a reference point for future. I don't know, the way that things have been going right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of upsets.
What I wonder here is, now they're going for a different take, although I imagine they were probably anticipating it being reading, but they're not going to be playing the Blackbeard, for example. They're going to be going with that Nomad again, which will definitely help cut off those rotations and help secure the Bakery area a little bit better, especially combined with those tracks. But they're also going to have the Maverick, interestingly enough. So I can imagine some holes are going to be cut, some of these walls, and it also negates a little bit of both the Bandit and the Kaid in terms of their ability to open walls at least a little bit, if not all the way.
There's a lot of operators that I'm just really curious as to why we're not seeing. Echo, Maestro, Capitao.
I mean, we saw some Echo from...
A little bit, yeah, but
yeah, it would have been good on this side.
Yeah, and Maestro, I think, would be especially good. Necrox, we're going to get a very long angle kill there on the Hot, and again, this is one of those angles that we're just seeing now.
And you can, is definitely his spot.
You're going to see this angle a lot in rank, so be ready for that.
It reminds me of the way that Necrox would play Kid's bedroom in Oregon. He'd play a lot of downward pressure, open up a lot of the floor as smoke, and fight a lot of downward angles, similar to what he's doing.
You talking about dorms?
No, in dorms, yeah, dorm site, but he would use in Kid's bedroom as smoke, generally.
Yeah.
Something he would do a lot. He just is good at fighting those downward angles through holes in the floor like that.
Well, he's going to get a kill early on, and the Soul Hard Destructor for DarkZero.
Yeah, they didn't bring a Thermite or Hibana.
Hibana, I think a lot of people find is one of the most versatile operators for this, like Hard Destructors, especially for this map in particular. She's really good here, and she's not being brought at all. Nick's going to take down Geo here, so fight back from DarkZero. You can see that Necrox holding on to the train room fairly well. Solo, Hyper's going to take down NVK. So, okay, DarkZero, man advantage suddenly. And while there's only 1 minute left, we've seen DarkZero win in this position already twice so far through this first half. Nice kill there. Necrox goes down and Nyx wins his fight. Impressively done. That was definitely one that could have gone wrong for DarkZero. Now Evil Geniuses, their position looking very, very bad.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, because like I said, I don't think they necessarily were bringing the operators for this particular side, especially the Maverick didn't really do a whole lot for them, but they're just maybe getting a little overconfident on a lot of these peaks, and Young could be the next victim to go here. Yeah,
the curious thing about Young is the way he's playing these angles. He seems to be moving a lot, so quite a bit of uncertainty on the side of Evil Geniuses. Oh no, that is really unfortunate if you're EG, but Nyx has downed himself, so at least there's that. And there's going to be a C4 that comes out. Obviously, some information coming on here from Evil Geniuses, at least upstairs. Default plant position coming out here from DarkZero, and there's no retake potential from EG because their retakes are being watched. As push here from the Bandit of Canadian will be downed, and there you go. Mint, final kill onto Canadian. Well, rather, actually Hyper onto Young, pardon me. DarkZero, wow, great execution there onto the kitchen. They have woken up in the second half of this first half, second quarter of this match.
Ooh, that is definitely one of the best attacks. Then now that they've got a 3-3 going in the second half, so drastically different than what we just saw in that last match.
Like I said, the those last 3 attack rounds were the best ones we've seen on these last 2 maps. So
it's funny because they started so slow too. I feel like they were almost slower than TSM.
Yeah, the first 3 rounds, I was thinking to myself, what happened to where's DarkZero? Right? What's going on right now? I mean, and then the last, like these 3 rounds just now, wow, forget about it, man.
I still
really
feel
beautifully
like
executed.
We also saw, I feel like, a little bit of overconfidence from EG.
Yeah, certainly. And some curious angle play, like for example, Young. Young is known to be one of the most patient players in North America. One of the most self-aware, well, good at holding angles, just like knowing when he needs to come off something and move to somewhere else. Good game sense. He was like flying over angles in that last round.
Yeah,
he was moving from point A to point B quite a lot. Had to keep moving. Part of that is the way that DarkZero is playing. They're keeping Evil Geniuses on their toes. But also part of that is the fact that Evil Geniuses didn't have a whole lot of information. And this is the thing, bring a Maestro. Look, DarkZero's doing it. Look, there he is.
Yeah, it wasn't banned, yet it's not being brought, from EG, and it's weird.
We saw it a lot in the last match, too.
It's surprising, too, that we see EG going with the Nomad instead of the Gridlock, just because from what we've heard from a lot of players, the Gridlock's a little more effective.
Well, I mean, Ranger would fruit that. He just said so.
Yeah, he just explained it.
But, well, no, he said the opposite, I think. He said as a hard flank hold, he'd prefer Nomad, I believe. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what
I thought he was just talking about how good of a kit, though, Gridlock.
Overall, how good of a kit is, Gridlock is more versatile, is what he said.
Yeah.
He said that because she has the the added benefit of smoke, so that she has just more.
In the shotgun as well for...
The shotgun is so good, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't pass up a shotgun secondary often, whether it's on attack or defense.
I'm glad to see so many now because there's so many more options for destruction in the game, and that's this game's big advantage, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the big factors for sure. Not as relevant as it used to be, though.
No, but it's always interesting, to see how it creates so much variability in this game, and adding more shotguns just tends to help with that.
Not as relevant, I should clarify, not as relevant as it used to be because while it has stayed important, other things have become more important.
Yeah.
Like the operator gadgets, for example.
Absolutely. We do see 2 air jabs already have been used, as well as all 3 of the pests here, so a lot of utility has been deployed. It's just a question of whether or not we're going to see it actually factor in here. Gio, I wonder if he'll set up one on the window that got used on him.
Yeah, he's looking for those.
He knows people playing the stairs just like he was, but Nick's playing a little bit safer than he did.
Yeah, so playing the white stairs is actually really strong because you've got those rails that are actual full walls now.
Yeah, thankfully.
Wow, I love that. Can we do that to every map, by the way?
Right.
Like instead, either eliminate all rails or make them full walls. Please, UB, every single map.
I'm curious if that'll happen with Canal.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. But anyway, Necroc's looking for these roamers. He's going to try and get some kills all by his lonesome playing on that Jackal. This is why he's such a powerful operator. You can just go solo roam hunting. No other operator is actually proficient at solo roam hunting.
And that's why he was banned last match.
Yeah. Usually you want to have somebody droning for you, but when you've got this Inox, you can do it yourself.
Well, Mozzie is the one who's going to be spotted for now, but he's just kind of off on this long flank, and I don't know if it's really doing him a lot of good information-wise, but a nice trade there. Canadian gets one, but gets traded off by BC, so still 4v4, 45 seconds left. And
the Maestro actually working out already for DarkZero as he's managed to put 2 kills on the board. In the hands of BC, that LMG is so powerful. DarkZero just waiting, and that's what they need to do. There's not a whole lot for them to commit to at this point in time. Hyper inside of Freezer, very aggressive play, holding on to that after the hard destruction came out. Young now aware that there might be an aggressive push from Hyper. He's looking for the fight, and he will get it, but he'll lose it. Hyper, some frags on the board here, and Necroc's now the last one by Red Stairs off the roam hunt, has to come to home to try and fight inside of Piano. Not going to expect this aggressive push from Mint, but will win the fight. Can he get 3 more? That is the question. No is the answer. Hyper, a beautiful round from himself. So DarkZero will take their first defense on the top floor.
Well, we'll see how this pans out, but obviously EG started the same way. But maybe it's just the attacking having to figure out how the defenses are going to go, like you mentioned, part of why there's the defensive sightedness in the first place. Yeah. Is attackers need to figure stuff out, and we did see DarkZero seem to figure it out in the second half of the first half. So I guess the second quarter.
Second quarter.
Yes. Yeah. But
because if you take a half.
Yeah.
And you half it.
Yeah.
It makes a quarter.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. But due to inflation, a quarter just isn't what it used to be.
Depends on the currency, I suppose, but like overall, yeah, maybe, sure.
A Frost for Kitchen.
Kitchen.
They're gonna skip reading.
So
Frost for Kitchen.
Yeah, okay.
Playing Freezer then?
Depends on how you set it up. There's some stuff you could do with that Frost for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's potential for this to be a huge... for it to be really funny.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's something that we don't see on every map. There's certain maps that tend to lend itself to it. For example, Skyscraper was a big one for the late game Frost mats.
You can see where those mats are going.
Yeah.
I like the array here from the welcome maps.
Yeah, let's
got one on the window by the main lobby. You got one on the bakery window, and one by that the other
Marcio?
Bigger main lobby window.
So windows, of course, are Frost's best friend.
Yes.
I mean, of course, you can vault in and destroy them as you're vaulting. Although I heard it got a little bit harder to do so.
Really?
But I'm not sure about that. That might have just been a rumor.
Haven't investigated that.
But either way, it does distract someone. They're busy shooting the floor instead of looking at other angles. So if you know someone's going to be vaulting in a window with the mat they're either going to, like, maybe win the gunfight against you, but then get frost matted, or you're going to get them while they're in the middle of shooting that. So
yeah, either you get downed or you die to the person holding the window because you're looking at the frost mat instead of the person holding the window.
Exactly. So if you have the timing right, as a defender, they can be very strong on windows where you're going to be roaming near those. Jaeger going to be caught out here, though. That is hyper spotted by Necrox again on that Jackal.
Jackal going to be a huge force here for Evil Geniuses as they try to take control of Bakery. Hyper, not an easy position to play, but he might just be able to do it with the support of Houghton. Gas canister's already coming out here from Houghton. Ooh, he missed it. Will he be able to retrieve it? Looks like he did.
I think so.
No shots rang out there, so he'll retrieve it, throw it again. Just delaying there for DarkZero and Hyper specifically. Aggressive push there to use the lifeline. It'll be absorbed by the ADS there from the Jaeger.
I think the smoke just kind of forcing him to play a little more recklessly in that sense.
Still 2 gas canisters here. Evil Geniuses, I don't think they've taken much of the building so far.
No, DZ definitely took Bakery a lot faster than this.
And we were critiquing them for having slow attacks.
Right?
This rush in here, oh, bad timing to go prone from the Frost. Mint possibly could have gotten a kill on the cross there, but he was un-ADS'd. Hyper's going to go down, the first casualty here of this 5 versus 5. Make that a 5 versus 3 now, as MVK also manages to get 1. Evil Genius is tearing it up right now, and DarkZero really in a bad spot as they have to now retake their own site. Nyx in a 1v5. He's done it before, he can do it again. Don't count him out just yet. Easy. He will not get more than 1. And Evil Geniuses barely don't get a flawless round there. Nice try there from EG, but they lost 1 member, so just gonna have to say that was a amazing attack, not a perfect one.
Well, it was a similar problem to what we saw sometimes from EG, which is over-peaking, overplaying your advantage. They had that advantage in terms of the slow push coming out from EG. They were even purposely trying to slow it down with the smoke. And then what do? Have people throw their faces at openings? Not the best way to continue to delay things. Sure, take some pre-fires, but maybe fire through soft walls. Fire through positions where, or even quick shoulder peeks, things like that. Things where you're not going to be overexposing yourself, because we saw most of those deaths towards the end where they were overplaying their hand in terms of, EG's in now, time to start shooting at them. Mint climbing up on the kitchen range there, that was not the play. That was definitely not the way to play, and in front of a giant opening like you had there. So stuff like that was definitely costing them that round, and that does even things out to 4-4. That great early attack advantage that they had slowly dwindling away here. Now we will see them go for the Vigil, something that Geo played a fair amount on their defense. We'll see coming out here. Now, the big problem I have with that is, while Geo was playing it, there was no Vigil. Now there is a Vigil, or not Vigil, but a Jackal who can track him down. So it's something where he might not be nearly as effective, because a roamer is going to leave a lot more footprints around where Jackal can find them. And the way that Hyper's running around here, he really should have wiped his shoes first, because I got to imagine Necrox is going to have him on ping for a while, which is going to negate some of his ability to delay.
Ready. Aren't the Jackal tracks like heat-based or something?
I don't know.
Because they dissipate. So
yeah,
it would have to be.
I'm pretty sure the lore is difficult to make logical for Jackal.
Either it's heat-based, or it's some kind of other something that is not based in reality.
It may just be magic. It may just be.
It may just be magic. I mean, they stated a long time ago that it's not based on realism anymore.
They also had that rainbow magic, friendship, whatever it was called, recently. So maybe it was from that one.
Oh yeah, that. Maybe that. Yeah, that could be. I mean, that was after Jackal came out, so I don't know.
Of course, but maybe that's where he came from.
Maybe he came from that universe. All right, so Evil Geniuses tacking onto Kitchen, but this time they're going to be clearing top floor.
Spotted, but not pinged. Jackal does have someone there on the ping, it looks like.
So this is what we expected to happen, like long-term with cafes. Eventually, yeah, even on the bottom floor defense, you're going to see the attackers start clearing from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And it's very simple because it's a kind of a tube of a map still.
Yeah. It's so much easier when you have Jackal too, because it's not just about tracking the footprints as in the pings. It's also about seeing whether or not there's any recent footprints in the area.
Nice shot there from MVK. Beautiful adjustment there on the Hyper. They know there is one inside of Train, and it's going to be MVK again to try and hunt that down. He's given away his position with the EMP, but he's holding the angle he knows, expects someone to aggress on. There comes the second lifeline and the rush, but Mint's going to win that one out. He goes for a second and gets it. Canadian on the floor, and Evil Geniuses suddenly have lost a lot of momentum. DarkZero doing a great job of holding on to Train thanks to Mint's efforts. A
lot of utility tonight as well, as I imagine there was some lifelines left in the pocket, as well as NVK had yet to use his last EMP as well as his Claymore. So that is a good start. Mint definitely doing some work. I mean, he has taken a bit of damage for his trouble, and unfortunately there is no dock, but he certainly has done his job. At this point, he could die, and I think he'd be in an okay position for that.
Good drone work going into sight here from EG. Geo knows he can aggress on this angle, thanks to the reinforced barricade. Gonna get the barbed wire. It's really dangerous for him to do this, but he'll make the push happen, and BC goes down. A second for Geo. What a ruthless push here. And it's going to be Houghton and Mint, the last two. Mint will take down Necrox. So here we go. Young going for a plant. Geo just needs to cover. He's going to have to get quite a few frags in order to win this one out. Houghton, here comes the retake, and he'll get Geo. So no more for the Twitch. Both Houghton and Mint are on 1 HP. Young wins these. In a perfect position post-plant to make it happen. One enemy known, but his position also given away thanks to the Evil Eye. It's going to have to be a push at the same time here from DarkZero. A 2-on-1, otherwise there's no way they win it. On such low HP, it's a single bullet onto each player from Young. All is required. There goes one. He knows the other's coming from behind. This is easy as can be from Young. He'd have to really muck it up to lose this one. Holding the angle, ready for the fight, playing it patiently. He knows he doesn't have to force it. Flash comes out. Even more delay. And it's not possible. Young wins it, and the final kill there goes to him. No time left for Mint to disable that diffuser. A nice post-plant scenario there for Young, and beautiful round from Evil Geniuses. Opened up thanks to Geo coming into sight.
Yeah, that was definitely a smart play in terms of just aggression. He must have had some intel on where they were playing to make that kind of play. I mean, that's really risky to be doing blind. So doing so, then once they did it, they knew they had sight, and everyone else was left off of sight, with Hot and Cold and Mint just forced completely to go for a retake scenario. Perfect time to plant. You have the coverage. It was surprising that it got down to just Young like that, but in that situation, like you said, he wins those. He knows he's going to be pushed kind of from two different angles. He's going to anticipate where they're coming from. Still had his flashes left as well. He was definitely in a good position. The plant barely got down, though, and that's the thing is, had they been able to stop the defuse from being planted, could have turned out very different, but we are on 5 points now for EG. Looking pretty decent. Now, it was pretty risky for DarkZero to go down to Kitchen twice when they could have been reading, but this is the team that actually tried to play Bakery back when it was still Bakery. So they are a team somewhat familiar with at least trying down there. But yeah, did not pay off ultimately, so...
No, not ultimate. Stick with it. Their ultimate is that it didn't pay off.
Yeah.
Now DarkZero going upstairs once more, and this has been an absolute banger of a match for both teams. A back and forth here so far. No clear runaway, and that's as we expected. DarkZero have had some moments where they just really haven't looked in the round. Evil Geniuses have had some miracle plays from that of Geo and Young, for example, at the end there, where you wouldn't have expected EG to be able to take it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the story. It's a back and forth of that. When DarkZero have their, well-orchestrated attacks or well-orchestrated defenses, and everything's working together like cogs in a machine, they win the round, and quite handily. When Evil Geniuses has one player just stand apart from the rest of the pack and make a huge play, or maybe two, then they manage to take the round easily. When Mint goes for a run out and punishes Evil Geniuses for not watching that, well, it's an even exchange. And it's the two Polish sisters who will be eliminated.
I would say, though, that DarkZero got the better half of that in terms of utility.
Yes, they certainly did, especially if the Guzmats were pre-placed.
Yeah, I gotta imagine there was probably at least one. I mean, those aren't a huge impact a lot of the times if there's someone there watching them, but...
Yeah, you don't necessarily always bring the Ela for the utility.
No, you bring it for the gun. And Mint had tried in previous rounds, and it hadn't been as successful. A lot of footprints there for Necrox to pick up on. And that's Nyx on the Mozzie, going to be tracked down here. And he's getting dangerously close to getting picked off, too. Because he, Jackal knows where he is, but he doesn't know where Jackal is necessarily.
He can only guess. The drop was heard there from Necrox. He knows.
Yeah, unfortunately, even that shallow of a drop.
Be coming out here just a second. There it is. Nick's aware as well as the push comes out, and Necrox is going to win the fight. Down goes Nyx, and already DarkZero find themselves at a man disadvantage here. Evil Geniuses have shut down the roamers and the C4 from below.
Ooh, punish though. Exchange. Going to be those long angles fought from BC, I imagine, probably playing on the Maestro as well, but yeah, time dwindling down to the last minute here.
MBK going to take a out BC. Beautiful shot there, I would assume, from Piano on a long angle, thanks to this hard destruction that was allowed to take place. Good job to Young, and probably Geo to make that. Houghton with an aggressive push, and he's going to get 3 for his trouble. Oh no! Evil Geniuses get shut down, and DarkZero proves that they have heroes too. Houghton, what a beautiful round there, and DarkZero fighting back. Go to round 11. Nice and even at 5-5.
That definitely should have been an EG round too, but hot and cold. Fantastic clutch on that. That shotgun, though, when you're in a tight spot, can really get you out of one if they push right into you. Like he knows they're going to be, of course, because they're pushing for sight. So, well done on his part. And we'll finally see reading come out here from DarkZero, as we have yet to see their reading defense.
Let me ask your opinion here, Devin. Do you smell a draw a-cooking?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get the draw earlier.
That a lot were expecting. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Everybody expected TSM to win. It's my bad.
Yeah, that's true. We did get the draw at the halfway point as well in terms of getting the 3-3, so that was maybe already indicative of where this was going to end up.
It's true. It's true. And it was 3 in a row followed by 3 in a row. So, I mean, this one's a little bit more back and forth. So,
it's true. And we'll see, though. That was a close one, though. That definitely could have been an EG round. So hard to say, but DarkZero also did get a little bit of a freebie in the sense of that team kill one round onto Necrox, giving them a little bit of advantage on that attack round.
Well, no matter what, we will need every round. Only 2 rounds left in this.
Yep.
And
guaranteed.
Yeah. Whoever wins the next one will at least guarantee themselves a draw. Yep. Potentially a win. DarkZero going to go to the middle floor in that attempt.
Yeah, we'll see how well they are able to hold this. I mean, obviously, Kitchen did not work out well for them, despite trying it twice. So, if they win this bomb site, that puts them back in Kitchen, assuming they don't want to go mining dining.
Yeah, in contrast, the top floor is the only site that DarkZero have managed to win so far.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a problem. But to be fair, even though they've consistently won it, we saw EG even lose it twice. So it's been highly variable on who's winning what site consistently.
I don't think there's a whole lot of consistency in this match right now.
No, and that definitely kind of leaves it in that draw position, I think.
Well, the hero plays, again, have kind of been the story for this match from both teams, and that's why we're likely to have some explosive finishes, or an explosive finish here to the end of this match. Canadian just going to open up the drops and look to establish some control over by Red Stairs. It's pretty standard timing here from EG so far. You know, it usually does take a team about a minute to get to the roof of Cafe. You've got to be wary of those spawn peaks. You've got to be very careful on your initial push. Can't take any unnecessary risks. Yeah, this is really interesting. DarkZero actually don't have any roamers by engine room, by train right now. They are rotating their Mozzie, I think. That's Nyx.
Well, he was playing there last round, so that's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise, but it was very late. That's for sure. Halfway through the round, they decided that they wanted to retake control of train. He's been spotted out now. Very long angle there from the drone, but the information is still there for EG. Exothermic charge onto the freezer. Evil Geniuses are going to try and establish control of the top floor before anything else, as you can see.
Not being really contested much on it either. And this a minute and a half into the round, sure, but the lack of contesting of the top floor, I think, is going to give EG some advantage here time-wise until the push starts to come back from DarkZero. And there's the start of it. Canadian going down, so Sledge and maybe some grenades off the board. Of course, it's good for BC to do some work on that.
Give BC an LMG with an ACOG, and he is going to land those shots and remove those heads. And Canadian's the first victim. He's been doing a great job on this position, as has Houghton over the last few rounds. Houghton with a shotgun blast from below will eliminate Nyx, who attempted to push into the main bar. And here we go, information in favor of BC. He's going to be able to get a free kill here in just a second if he plays this right, but no. Young will fall back. The right call there from that Thermite.
Yeah, he's just going to rotate down red instead. So they've actually given up some of their top floor control to BC, pretty much. Kind of said, okay, we got the side of the map that we really need to control, which is the red stairs, Scar side, so we're actually just going to push site now, which means BC may have to actually vault down to rotate back into pillars even.
You may not have to be honest. With the way this is playing out, it's looking much like a DZ round. Gas canisters coming out into the hallway. Necrox, good frag there. First one for Evil Geniuses. But look at the time. DarkZero, all they need to do is wait. But it's starting to get a bit punishy over here on the side of Evil Geniuses as they're starting to get their own kills. Might be too late, though, in the round. The push into reading is going to be unsuccessful as Houghton is there and ready to receive them, as is Mint, who will put some pressure onto the planter. Houghton with the push there, and a flank as well to boot. DZ, an easy holdout, thanks to BC's effort upstairs and the time commitment from Evil Geniuses, unsure where they wanted to go.
And this is what's going to make it look even more like a draw now, because, of course, they have to go to Kitchen, the site they have been unable to win so
Well, they don't have to.
Well, sure, they could go mining, dining, and I'd prefer to see that, honestly.
Yeah, I would like to see that, too.
I mean, I'd like to actually, you know, no matter who we talk to, if someone wins, I'd like to ask why no one wants to go mining, dining anymore. Like,
There's
I'd like
gotta
to
be a
give
reason.
I mean, yeah, because there's not really a lot of striking, obvious reasons.
I mean, maybe it's just that
anymore.
the site is especially exposed. I mean, okay, let's think about reading versus dining. All right, what is the bit, or sorry, reading versus mining? I don't know why I said dining.
Yeah.
What's the big difference there? The big difference is that, okay, as an attacking team, if I take control of piano, I can then attack onto dining.
Yeah.
Whereas, or rather, why do I keep saying dining?
To mining, yeah, because from red stairs, right?
Yes, because you have control of red stairs, you have control of cigar, and you have control of piano, right? So you've effectively nullified the vertical presence. If you leave one player up there on the flank watch, then okay, you're good. Then you just hit sight. Whereas if you're defending reading room, you actually have to, as the attackers, take control of the whole top floor, or you're going to get punished vertically. That's one of the big differences. It's on the right side. It's on the cocktail side of the top floor. So
but
that's
I mean,
probably why, but I don't actually know.
If you've lost Kitchen twice, maybe it's better still.
Maybe it's better still, yeah. But at the same time,
I just think it's because teams have successfully defended it for quite some time before the revamp. You know, and not really much has changed on that side.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just trying to grasp for a reason here.
Sure,
I'm sure there's something else that we're probably not seeing right now, but it is definitely something to ponder.
Something to point out, of course, is Hyper on the Caveira.
Yeah, I guess.
Just because it's rare enough, and it's always a bit of a risky play.
Yeah, high risk, high reward, though.
Absolutely, especially if you get an interrogate.
I don't see EG giving away an interrogate, though.
Oh, yeah.
This is worth noting. The way that EG have been playing, they have been using that Jackal to solo roam clear, so maybe.
That would be ironic and appropriate, I suppose.
In a sense, yeah. Now, nobody took any damage from that spawn peak from Mint just now, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. Risky, but it does make them a little more cautious. So as long as he doesn't get punished by it either, you know, what's the harm for him?
Absolutely.
They are going to be spending a lot of time here opening windows and just looking for angles first while the rest of the team drones. Just trying to suss out positions. Now, with no one here to really follow up the drones, though, that means they're not really going to be getting a lot of up-to-date intel. Some of that's going to come from Necrox with the live pings. Getting some work done in there. And hopefully, for his sake, he gets the ping onto the Caveira. And he is going to, because, of course, you can silent step your way to somewhat avoid footprints, but if your footprints are there, they're there until they disappear, and now he's going to have to worry about getting pinned down, and now if they didn't already know there was one, they're going to know now, and he's going to be under a desk.
He's still being marked there.
Yeah, I'm sure he realizes that, but this is a big gamble.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really exposed to anything right now, so whatever.
If he just buys time, of course, eventually the pings will wear off, and he'll be able to be free to move without being continued to be pinged. But Necrox is absolutely considering hunting him. And instead goes for maybe a little bit more of a vertical approach to it.
Now, here's the thing. This is a kitchen defense right now.
Yeah, that's true. It is easy to forget. It does seem more like a reading attack.
Well, Mint's playing inside of reading, and he's going to be the next one tracked by the Jackal. He doesn't really have an out in this situation. He's just going to have to make this really sting. And he is Legion, so that is definitely possible. Twitch drone zapping him right now, and he's being hunted viciously by the attack. And oh, Hyper's going to stay. He's got confidence in this spot.
Yeah. Well, he's also covering for his teammate who rotated back the side. Now that Mint's actually rotated back, even more reason to stick on this. But Gio's actually one to hunt him here with his, because the Twitch drone's so quiet.
I wonder if he's going to be spotted. I wonder if the Twitch drone's going to see him.
Oh, he's not looking.
Moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Will the Twitch drone spot the... Oh, he gets destroyed, which means the position given away in effect, and Hyper will fall back. But it's only 30 seconds left, so... Sure, the right call for Hyper.
They have to hunt him now. They don't know if he's still there or not.
I mean, yeah. At the same time, 20 seconds left. They don't have that luxury. Hot and Cold trying to retake into the middle floor there, and he's going to be somewhat successful. At least he's got the position. Geo will get Nyx in the sight. This could still be an EG round, but it's going to have to be a really impressive fragging. And the impressive fragging is going to continue as Nyx takes down Mint from behind. Hot and flanking into Bakery, but he's going to lose the fight to Canadian, who's behind him. Hyper, though, denies the diffuser plant. Oh, no. Or maybe it's actually, no, it's the Evil Eye. Even worse. DarkZero will win on time. Evil Geniuses look to be in control of that round as they started fragging out, but they couldn't make it happen.
Well done, though, for DarkZero, who had struggled at the beginning of this season. Showing that they can bring it back. Definitely some mistakes made for both teams and some great attack play on those initial or second quarter 3 rounds. So DarkZero, though, showing that they were one of the old cafe teams as well and still got it to an extent. Bakery, maybe not all the time. They did manage to win it that third time. Which, third time's the charm is not a great thing to happen when you're in that kind of point situation, but still, it worked. They didn't have to get the tie. Which means, of course, we'll probably get to talk to Nyx or maybe Hot and Cold, but...
We'll find out when we get to that stage of the game. But yes, DarkZero. Oh boy, what a match. Yeah. Quite interesting. It really swung back and forth there throughout.
That was match of the day, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Towards the end there, I thought EG were going to be able to take that, but nobody shot the Evil Eye.
No. Probably not enough utility left to deal with it or anything like that. They weren't paying attention to it, focused on the plant, which, I mean, I don't blame them. You got very little time left.
It was unfortunate if you're EG, but very fortunate if you're DZ, and we can talk to them about that win.
Yeah, we'll see who we have for the interview, but it'll definitely be an interesting conversation, I imagine, for a team that maybe was thinking it might have ended up in a draw there and did get very close to doing so, and in which case, of course, we wouldn't have an interview. But either way, DarkZero on the upswing. EG still looking pretty strong, but at the end of the day, they did not even get the tie, nor the 3 points. So,
well, that's DarkZero right now with, I believe, 3 wins after that one. They did actually lose 7-1 to 92 Dream Team. Nobody expected that.
That was the rough start.
But it did happen. And have won all of the other matches, so they've been looking pretty strong.
Absolutely, and that definitely showed some confidence there as well. We'll see how they do on a variety of different maps as the season goes on and how they kind of fit Hyper in there. But overall, I think that was a very strong DZ that we saw, just with some interesting plays. But that's what we always expect from DZ, right, is the interesting plays, not always the consistent or the high-level meta ones.
I would say if we're talking about interesting plays, we're talking about really interesting angles, especially, the more came out of EG from that match. For example, the angle that they were playing inside of Train. I don't know if that's one that's already been established, but I really like that one.
That was good.
Help assist in the hold by Kitchen. Also like the way they were using Mozzie over by Train to, delay those drones and hold that position. But hey, it didn't work out for them in the end, and who ended up winning was DZ. So let's talk to them about that.
Yeah, let's have a little word. Well, hello there, Nyx. Yeah, no, that's it is Hot and Cold there.
What's up, Enzo?
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Definitely. I don't want to say an unexpected win, but one that I'm glad to see you guys kind of coming back from some of that early slump that you had. I mean, obviously it's only been like a week because we have so many matches so fast. But are you guys feeling a lot more comfortable now that you've kind of made a couple wins in there?
Yeah. I mean, at first. It was pretty hard. I mean, it felt really good with Paul at first, and then I guess, obviously we had bad results at Vegas. We got slammed by Luminosity. A great game from them. But I think now our map pool is really coming together, and Paul's looking a lot more comfortable on his roles. I think we've got to figure it out.
Now, you guys tried the kitchen, I keep wanting to call it bakery, 3 times before you were finally successful on it, even down to kind of a close success there. As opposed to playing reading, you guys kind of skipped reading until you kind of played it later on. Are you guys just feeling very confident in that bomb site, or was it just kind of a play to trip up EG and thinking you were going to go reading next?
Well, I think every time we went kitchen, we couldn't play the top 2 bomb sites, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, we didn't have strats on mining yet, so we had to keep going kitchen. I mean, we finally figured out like we had to be a little more aggressive, waste a lot more time, and it came together in the end.
So something we wanted to ask on that, me and Kix were curious, is why is mining and dining fallen so much off the radar as opposed to, like, I know Kitchen is new and people want to play it, but it also has had somewhat, I think, of a low success rate. Why is mining and dining still not kind of in people's rotation at this point for most of the Pro League teams, do you think?
I mean, I think just coming into the new cafe, like, team immediately, not in scrims or anything, but in 10-mans, they just started playing the new sites, so they're kind of more used to it at the moment. Because the maps change a lot, so it's probably just cafe being new and every team not being used to it.
And what was the thought process behind bringing the Caveira in that last round there to maybe surprise them a little bit?
The Caveira wasn't really for surprise. It was just like our roamers kept dying to their Jackal or kept getting, you know, found by their Jackal, so it's kind of annoying for them. So Paul was just like, or Hyper was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna run Caveira to stop the Jackal.
Speaking of Paul, you guys feel like he's fitting into the team pretty well now that you've had a few play days to kind of warm things up?
Yeah, for sure. Paul's a great guy. He's a bit of a troll sometimes, but you know, it's always fun having him in the house.
And just last question here is, now that BC's been kind of fitting into the team and kind of taking over that role since you guys didn't find anyone to replace him before, do you feel like he's able to do both his duties as a player and a coach, and that's whether or not that's had any impact on your guys' performance?
BC coming onto a player, it definitely, he can't do as much as he did in terms of like strats and stuff when he was a coach, but he's definitely balancing it well, I think. You know, our strats aren't stale ever, so as long as we keep them like, you know, keep them evolving, then we'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Well, congratulations on your guys' victory today and your seeming upswing here, as you guys have been doing pretty well lately. Anything you want to say to the fans out there of DarkZero?
Shout out to my boy Tom, and thank you everyone for the support. We love you guys, and just thanks for following us on this ride.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the interview, and wish you guys a good play day next time in, I guess, a week or so's time. But until then, enjoy the rest.
Thank you, Emzo. Have a
good night. Well,
I'm back. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Houghton. Good job on the win.
Yeah.
So DarkZero, looking very strong there. Evil Geniuses, a little bit more hesitation than you would expect. A little bit more on some of those rounds, especially in that last round. They clearing out the roamers. They went through the process. It took them a lot of time, and then, oop, not enough time to plant. We saw that be a big story for Cafe so far through today. And
time management.
Maybe we'll see more Cafe today, and it will continue to be the story.
I mean, that tags onto what you were saying before about being defender-sided, because the attackers haven't completely figured everything out yet, and time management is going to be a big component of that. But I think we're ready for a quick break before we get into the next match, our third match of the day, and that should be very exciting as well. So we'll see you there.
Bye.